This is the Two Murrays on 2UE. Listen, as you know, and you're starting to do it as well, always question the commission that we pay real estate agents for selling your home. I mean, to be honest, I really do not see the value in any of it. I mean, there is no stock standard fee structure across the state. Some charge over and above the advertising, some don't. Some tell you to go to auction and then it costs more on top of that. And others just suggest, I suppose, basically that you sell it. Well, never thought about doing it yourself. Now, I know people that have sold their home without any agent and they've saved tens of thousands of dollars. We're going to tell you about a place that you can go to. This company has saved their vendors around about $1.4 million in fees and commissions since December last year. Seriously, I mean, you own the joint.
Real money, your money.
Why give it away to someone that's just going to stand there for an hour every weekend, ticking off names?
Yeah, 2 weekends for half an hour at a time. They don't want to be there. They're bored, stupid. Oh, what a crappy house. Don't want to sell this. And they still take our money.
Have a look at this website. It's called BuyMyplace.com.au. I had a look at it this afternoon. It's absolute cracker. Peter Butters is the Chief Executive Officer of BuyMyplace, and he's joining us on the line. G'day, Peter.
G'day, gentlemen. How are you?
Mate, congratulations on a wonderful idea. Is it yours, or have you, you've sort of adopted it from elsewhere?
No, look, really, if you look at how it was adopted, it's been happening through Europe now for many, many years, over a dozen, even 20 years.
Right.
In Canada and the US, it's about 4 or 5 years old, and it's really taken off. In Canada, they're about 30% of the market is sold direct without agents.
Jeez.
And in the US, it's about 20% and growing rapidly. So, no, mate, I'm not a pioneer. I'm just somebody that saw a great idea and thought that Australians deserve to have a better deal.
We sure do deserve to have a better deal because, you know, given the extremely solid financial position of the housing market here,
Absolutely.
If you sell a home, you buy a home, you sell a home, it's very big, it's very significant money.
Oh, it's huge money. And the really interesting part of that is that it's so easy to sell a home. Most homes, we do a lot of research on our buyers and sellers. On average, our sellers spend about 6 hours going through the process of selling their home.
I mean, you know, all the work you do as the owner anyway, getting it ready for an open inspection, you may as well stand there at the front door with a clipboard yourself.
Well, and most of our sellers reckon that was the best part of the whole process.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
They got to talk directly to the buyers, and they were able to answer questions really simply. There was not this oh, look, I'm not sure, I'll have to get back to you.
Oh, jeez.
I sold my place last year, so I went through the process myself, and the lady that bought it literally walked up and said, "How much do you want? I love your home." I said, "This is how much I want." She said, "Look, I don't have that much. I have this much." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry. It's valued at this. That's what you have to give me."
Yep.
And what did she say?
She walked back 3 minutes later with a cheque. If I was an agent, I would have just made myself 20 grand.
For doing absolutely nothing.
All. And isn't that a marvellous point you make? They go and you know, and they turn up at your house and they say, that pull down there, how old is the filter? Because you know, and has there been any problem with that filter?
Yeah,
and you say, well, no, it's 10 years. You know how old the filter is.
Yeah, and you know whether it works and its idiosyncrasies and all those sorts of things.
And you know about the neighbours. You know about the area.
Yeah.
You can talk about it. You know more about your home than the real estate
Your local
agent.
school, you know, your public transport links and so on.
I just wonder why people are still going through real estate agents. What is the reason?
Well, I think technology needed to catch up with the industry.
Sure.
If you look at most industries where there was an agent or a third party involved in the process of buying or selling, we've seen ticketing already go past, you know, with airline ticketing and holidays and all those sorts of things. Shares, it's already been done. So what happens is the technology's got to catch up to the process. That's finally happened, and now people can buy and sell their properties themselves using a company like BuyMyplace, where we do everything for you. You literally ring up and say, this is my home, this is how much I want to sell it for. We send out the photographer, the for sale boards, and get them erected.
Oh, you do all that?
We do all that. We make sure their marketing material is prepared. We put them onto all the other big websites to make sure that everybody sees them.
What?
We even have marketing people who have been in the real estate game for 20 years to help people know how to sell, the sorts of things to say and the sorts of places to drop their brochures, etc.
Well, how much am I going to pay you, Peter Butters?
How much are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
Well, you will pay, the lowest package is $270. The highest package, which is where we do pretty much everything for you, including the open for inspections and even auctions, it would come in at about $1,900.
Excuse me, you pay $19,000 for some spotty oik
That's right.
to sell your house, and you're saying $1,900?
That's if you had used every service that we have. But
So what do you get for $1,900?
for that, we would send out a large for sale board with a professional photographer. Your for sale board would have 4 photographs of your home on it. We write your advertisement.
Yeah, well, that's what the last real estate agent charged me for my signboard, $1,900.
Wow.
You would also get us to come out and do the open for inspections for you. We would then negotiate with any buyers, and if you wanted to have an auction, we'd do that as well. We would then also manage the paperwork, the contract of sale, through your conveyance or legals.
How do you do it so cheap?
Yeah, this is too good to be true.
Because when I had my place, they wanted to slug me $490 for some bloke to turn up in a BMW with a little hammer to say sold.
Mate, BMWs cost a lot to lease.
They do.
Have to charge you that sort of...
How's your Datsun 120Y going?
I'll tell you how we do it. If you look at most agencies, they operate in a suburb or two. We're a national company. We operate in every state of Australia, so we're a volume business.
Ah.
So we relist hundreds of properties a month, and we sell hundreds of properties a month.
Yeah.
So we don't need to make $20,000 every time we sell one. Our average sale package is about $550. It's the middle package. It's called a professional package. When 200 or 300 people list their property and buy that package, this business does very well.
And if you've saved, people like Muzz and myself, like our listeners who have sold properties in the last 6 months, if you've saved them almost $1.5 million in the last 6 months, you look at the Canadian experience, the American experience, what slice of the market could you anticipate your businesses like yours doing here in Australia?
Well, the research that we conducted before we opened the business, so we opened this business last April, April 2009, research says that Australians, or 25% of Australians, would prefer to buy and sell through a different mechanism. In other words, is there a different way to do it other than an agent? So our job is to educate the market and say, number one, it's really easy to do, and number two, here's your avenue. And that's what we've spent the last 12 months doing.
Well, listen, we'll educate them here for sure. I love it. I love it when we've had a real estate agent come around to our place in the last 4 to 5 weeks, and the first thing they said, won't take much to sell this. I thought, well, what are you doing here? Well, why am I going to give you all that money if it's not going to take much to sell it?
Well, you're right.
Yeah. So BuyMyplace.com.au. That's the website.
Yeah. And listen, one thing I should mention is we're a new business, and we've been working with a group called ASOB, which is a small exchange that have been helping us finding investors for the business.
Yep.
Because it's a very large company, and anybody that's interested in maybe taking a stake in a company like BuyMyplace should jump onto the website and have a look at our investor relations area, because there are still opportunities for investors to come in and work with us.
Mate, grateful vendors who've sold their place and saved a bucket might want to tip a few lazy dollars back your way.
That's it. That's
in the form of an investment.
Great to talk to you. Thanks very much for the time, Peter.
Pleasure, guys. Thank
Good on you. Bye-bye. Peter Butters joining us on the line. He's the CEO of BuyMyplace.com.au.
I'm trying to find a reason to say it's too good to be true, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
$1,900 is the top package, and it starts at $270. They charged me $1,900 for that damn board out the front of my joint when I bought it.
What'd you say? $500?
And they wouldn't take it back. I rang them and said, I'm in. You can have your board back. Oh, we don't want it. Good on you. So another $20 later, I had to dump it at the tip. So nearly $2,000 for a sign I didn't need and then I had to get rid of.
Beautiful.
I was going to put it through their front window. But what experience have you had with selling your home? Have you done it yourself? I know a few people that have done it.
Yeah.
Seriously, you do all the cleaning, you get everything set up, you make the house look wonderful for when the open inspection's on.
The perking away, and the
flowers and the lawns are mowed and all that. And
groovy,
he turns up in his BMW with his, pinstripe suit with his little board.
And your house is one of about 15 he's got to do.
I know, and then they go back to the person that's selling the house and said, we had 30 people through on the weekend. Yeah, what they don't realise is there was a joint for sale down the road from me. About, 20 people from the neighbourhood were in there, just having a sticky beak. So really,
do it yourself.
How many legitimate people come through your home? Anyway, you may have a view on it.
BuyMyplace.com.au, 13 32, 2 Murrays, 2 UE.